Phở gà trộn, the chicken noodle you probably haven't heard of. If you've heard anything about Vietnamese food, you probably know phở bò and phở gà, the beef and chicken versions of the most famous Vietnamese noodle soup dish. What you may not know is that phở, specifically bánh phở, is actually the name of the noodles and they can be used in a variety of different dishes. There's phở xào, which is sautéed, phở bò kho with braised beef, phở áp chảo, which is crispy fried noodles with beef and veggies. Check out our recipe for that here. Today, I'm showing you the best phở dish when you want to cool down, phở gà trộn. The name of this dish tells you exactly what it is. Phở is the name of the noodles, gà means chicken, and trộn means to mix or mixed. This dish is light and refreshing, but still super flavorful and delicious. It has the best mix of textures. The tender noodles and chicken with a little bit of that fatty chewiness from the chicken's skin, along with the different types of crunchiness from the fresh veggies, the peanuts, and the fried shallots. The combination of flavors from all of these ingredients, along with a sweet, savory, garlicky soy sauce and a bowl of umami chicken broth served on the side, are just incredible. When you mix it all together, each bite will be different and you won't be bored. For this recipe, you'll need bone-in chicken thighs, pho noodles, make sure you get the flat wide type, bean sprouts, green papaya. If you can't find green papaya, you can substitute with kohlrabi, cucumber, or just omit. Carrot, roasted peanuts, white onion, lime, shallots, garlic, green onion, and other herbs of your choice. Here I have cilantro and rau răm Vietnamese coriander, lime leaves, sugar, soy sauce, fish sauce, vegetable oil, and ground black pepper. Let's get started.
We'll start by cutting an onion in half, then cutting one half into halves again. Rinse the ginger well to remove any dirt, then cut into slices without peeling. Clean your chicken however you prefer, then add to a pot, along with the onion, ginger slices, salt, and water. Bring to boil on medium-high. Skim off any impurities that rise to the top. Then reduce heat to medium-low, 4 out of 10 for my stove, and let simmer uncovered for 30 minutes or until the chicken is cooked through, skimming occasionally. In the meantime, peel, cut carrots into about 5 centimeter pieces, then shred or julienne. Next, cut off the stem end, then peel the papaya. Rinse to remove the sap if needed. Next, you can either cut the papaya into small pieces, then shred or julienne in the same way as the carrot, or hold the papaya vertically in one hand and a knife in the other. In a hammering motion, make vertical cuts on the papaya. When you have enough cuts that are close enough together to create small strips, turn your knife parallel to the surface of the papaya, cut along the papaya from one end to the other. You should now have loose shreds of papaya. Trim off the roots, then cut to separate the white and green parts of green onions. Chop up the green part and set aside to add to the broth later on. Cut the white parts into 4 to 5 centimeter lengths, then cut lengthwise into thin strips. Optional, add these strips to a bowl of ice water to make them curl up. This is visually appealing. This will also make them crunchier and taste less strong. Next, rinse the herbs, pick the leaves off the stems, then chop or slice into ribbons. My recommendation for each type of herb: for cilantro, I would chop. For zozam, Vietnamese coriander, húng quế, Viet Thai basil, and mint, I would slice into ribbons. For lime leaves, this is optional, but I like cutting along either side of the spine to remove it because it's tough. Then layer up the leaves and slice into ribbons as thinly as possible. Next, peel and mince garlic. Once the chicken is cooked through, remove the pieces to a bowl of ice water. This stops the cooking and firms up the skin. Leave the broth on the stove, but reduce heat down to a minimum to keep warm. If you're making your own fried shallot, peel and thinly slice shallots. If you're using pre-made fried shallot, skip these next few steps. Add the sliced shallot and oil to a cold saucepan. Turn on the heat to medium. Fry the shallot, stirring continuously until you start seeing the first bits turn golden. This will take about 4 to 5 minutes. When it looks like this, reduce heat to low, about 2 out of 10, and continue frying until most of the shallot has turned lightly golden. When your shallot looks something like this, remove from heat, then pour into a strainer, place over a bowl. I recommend removing the shallot from the heat earlier than you think you should. It will continue to cook with the residual heat, and it could burn quickly towards the end. Pour the shallot on a paper towel-lined plate to absorb excess oil. Here I'm spreading out the shallot a little bit so that the oil can be better absorbed. The remaining shallot oil is super fragrant. We'll use a little bit of it for the sauce. The rest you can save in a jar and use to add extra flavors to whatever you cook. Next, to make the sauce, heat a saucepan on medium and add oil. If you made your own fried shallot, use the shallot oil. If not, use regular vegetable oil. Here I'm also reusing the same saucepan that I used for the shallot. Add the minced garlic and saute until fragrant. Add in the broth. Along with the soy sauce. And sugar. Stir until the sugar fully dissolves. Remove from heat and let cool. Once your sauce has cooled, stir in the lime juice. I recommend adding in half the amount first, then taste and adjust. If you like spicy, you can also add some sliced or minced bird's eye chili. Boil water and cook pho noodles according to package instructions. Once cooked, strain, rinse well with cold water, then strain again. The final step is to debone the chicken. Place it skin side down on a cutting board and use the tip of your knife to cut around the bone and remove it from the thigh. Here I'm just removing some loose pieces. Flip the chicken thigh over skin side up, cut into thin slices parallel to where the bone was. Try your best to do this gently to keep the skin intact. A tip about the color of the chicken. In Vietnam, this dish as well as phở gà with broth are commonly made with gà ta, Vietnamese chicken, which has naturally thick yellow skin. In France, they have poulet jaune, yellow chicken, which is what we're using. If your chicken is a bit pale, you can brush the skin with some fresh turmeric juice or a mix of turmeric powder and water. This is purely aesthetic. Our final step before assembly is the broth. Remove the pieces of onion and ginger. Taste and season with fish sauce as needed. Add in ground black pepper. And the chopped green onion greens. Heat up the broth to almost boiling, then ladle into individual bowls. Divide the sauce into individual sauce bowls as well. To assemble, add a portion of noodles to a bowl, top with carrot, papaya, bean sprouts, the chicken, herbs, the white part of green onions, crushed peanuts, fried shallot, and lime leaves. To eat, pour some or all of the broth over the noodles. This is up to personal preference. I like adding a little bit of the broth to the bowl, but sip on the rest as I eat. Others like to pour in everything. Pour in the sauce. Give everything a good mix, and enjoy!
Let's taste. This is what it looks like all mixed up. That's so good. There's so many textures and flavors in this dish. You have soft, you have crunchy, and so many flavors. That sauce really ties everything together.
Make sure you subscribe to our channel and visit mmbonapetit.com for more Vietnamese and French recipes.